What if I told you that you could transform your home into a haven of peace like those Nordic homes you see in decoration magazines without spending a fortune? Today, I'm going to reveal the 15 secrets that Nordics use to create minimalist but super cozy homes that everyone loves. It is no coincidence that the Nordic style has become a rage all over the world. If you're tired of coming home and feeling that mess that only makes you more stressed, or if your decor seems lifeless, this video will change all that. I'll show you step by step how to apply the concept of Hygge, that feeling of coziness and well-being that only the Nordics know how to create so well. And there's more. One of these secrets is so simple to apply that you'll be surprised as you never thought about it before. Many people think they need a lot of money to have a beautiful house, but what the Nordics teach us is exactly the opposite. Stay until the end because I'm going to reveal how to create this incredible atmosphere using what you already have at home. Tip 1. Natural light is the star of Nordic design. Living in countries where winter brings short, dark days, Scandinavians have learned to value and maximize every ray of sunlight that enters their home. The problem that many of us face is precisely this: dark houses that seem to drain our energy and make the environment heavy and lifeless. Have you ever noticed how much more energetic and happy you feel in well-lit environments? This is no coincidence. Our mind and body respond positively to natural light, which regulates our biological clock and directly influences our mood. To apply this Nordic secret, start by removing obstacles that block the light from entering. Heavy curtains can be replaced with lighter, more translucent models that filter light without completely blocking it. Strategically position mirrors to reflect the light that enters through the windows, expanding their presence in the room. A client of mine had a room that always seemed dark and dreary. By simply repositioning the sofa that partially blocked the window and adding a mirror on the opposite wall, the room was completely transformed. Natural light now floods the space, making it more spacious and welcoming without spending practically anything. Furthermore, choosing light colors for walls and furniture amplifies this effect, creating surfaces that reflect light rather than absorbing it. The benefits are immediate. You save electricity during the day, improve your mood and well-being, and create a visually more spacious and inviting environment. The secret is to think of light as an essential decorative element and not just as a functional necessity. Tip 2. The Nordic color palette is a real secret to creating serene and elegant environments. Many people are frustrated by decorations that seem disjointed or visually tiring, and they don't understand why. The problem lies precisely in the lack of chromatic harmony. Scandinavians have mastered the art of using neutral colors as a base, creating spaces that convey calm and sophistication. White is predominant on the walls and ceilings, but it is not that cold, hospital white. They prefer off-white tones, which bring more warmth. To apply this principle, start by painting your walls in light shades like ivory white, light gray, or soft beige. These colors work like a blank canvas that expands spaces and reflects more light. The secret is to add layers of neutral colors, such as different shades of gray, brown, and beige. A practical example was what I did in my own room. The walls were a sea green that made the room dark and dated. By painting everything sandy white and adding furniture in light wood and gray tones, the space gained an immediate visual coherence. The environment became more elegant and timeless without seeming monotonous or dull. To prevent the space from becoming personalityless, the Nordics add strategic points of color: a navy blue cushion, a forest green vase, or a terracotta blanket. These small notes of color create visual interest without compromising the tranquility of the room. The benefits of this approach are enormous. You create a space that is not visually tiring, that always looks clean and organized, and that serves as a neutral base for you to change small decorative elements according to the season or your mood without having to renovate everything again. Tip 3. Light wood is the unmistakable signature of Nordic design and brings an immediate connection with nature. Many people face the challenge of creating spaces that feel cozy without becoming visually heavy or dated. The problem is that materials like dark woods can make spaces oppressive, while synthetic materials often feel artificial and cold. The Scandinavians' solution: extensive use of light woods such as pine, maple, oak, or birch. These woods in light, natural tones bring warmth to the room without making it visually busy. To incorporate this element into your home, you don't need to change all the furniture at once. Start with key pieces like a coffee table, shelves, or even a sideboard. If you have dark wood furniture that is still in good condition, consider sanding it and applying a lighter finish or pastel paint. A real example of this transformation happened at my sister's house. She had a dark, heavy mahogany dining table, a family heirloom. Instead of replacing it, we sanded the entire surface and applied a light, natural tone finish. The result was impressive. The table gained a contemporary look while maintaining its sentimental value. Another trick is to incorporate light wood elements into details such as hangers, trays, kitchen utensils, or even picture frames. The benefits of this material go beyond aesthetics. Wood is a natural material that ages with dignity, develops character over time, and brings a feeling of warmth and organicity that synthetic materials simply cannot replicate. Furthermore, the light wood creates a soft and elegant contrast with the white walls so characteristic of the Nordic style, adding dimension and texture without visually competing. Hey, let's take a quick break here. If you're enjoying these Nordic tips that are transforming homes out there, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. This way you don't miss any decorating secrets that I share every week. Oh, and tell me in the comments, where are you watching this video from? I love knowing that I'm reaching people from different places. Now let's get back to more Nordic secrets that will make your home amazing. Tip 4. Functional minimalism is the fourth Nordic secret and perhaps one of the most important for those looking for organization and mental peace at home. The problem that many face today is the accumulation of objects that we rarely use, taking up physical and mental space in our lives. We get overwhelmed with so many things and can't keep order no matter how hard we try. The Nordic principle of functional minimalism teaches us to value quality over quantity and functionality above all. To start applying this concept, make an honest assessment of each room in your home. Ask yourself, does this object bring me joy, or does it have a clear and necessary function? If the answer is no to both questions, it may be time to get rid of it. I remember a client who accumulated dozens of decorative pillows that ended up being thrown on the floor every night to sleep on and replaced on the bed every morning. By narrowing it down to just 4 pillows that she really loved, not only did her room become more elegant, but her morning routine became much simpler. The secret is to choose versatile and multifunctional pieces. A side table that doubles as storage, an ottoman that hides magazines, or a bed with drawers underneath are perfect examples of Nordic thinking. The benefits of this functional minimalism go far beyond aesthetics. You spend less time cleaning and organizing, save money by buying fewer non-essentials, and create an environment that promotes mental clarity and focus. It is important to emphasize that minimalism does not mean living in a sterile space without personality. The goal is to be surrounded only by things that have special purpose or meaning for you, creating a home that reflects who you are without the weight of excess. Tip 5. Cozy textures are the Nordic antidote to the coldness that minimalism can create. Many people try to adopt the minimalist style, but end up with environments that seem impersonal and cold, like an office waiting room. The challenge is to create a visually clean space that is still inviting and welcoming. This is where the Danish concept of Hygge comes in, that feeling of coziness and well-being that we admire so much. To apply this Nordic secret, you need to incorporate different textures in layers. Start with soft rugs, preferably made from natural materials like wool or cotton. A rug under the coffee table or next to the bed makes a huge difference in the perception of comfort in the room. Add knitted or crocheted blankets strategically folded over the sofa or armchairs, inviting relaxation. cushions of different textures such as velvet, linen, or chunky knit add visual and tactile interest. A client of mine had a beautiful room with elegant furniture, but no one wanted to stay in it for long. By adding a shag rug, some soft throws, and cushions of varying textures, the space transformed into the family's favorite room, where everyone naturally gathered. The secret is to mix contrasting textures, something soft with something rough, something smooth with something textured. Think of a leather sofa paired with wool cushions, or a rustic wooden table with fine linen placemats. The benefits of these textures go beyond visuals. They add depth and interest to the environment, invite touch and permanence, and create that much-needed feeling of welcome on cold or stressful days. Furthermore, they are relatively cheap elements to change depending on the season, or when you want to renew the look of the house without large investments. Tip 6. The power of plants in Nordic design often goes unnoticed, but they are key to creating that perfect balance between minimalism and coziness. The problem that many face is that modern homes, with all their practicality, end up becoming artificial environments disconnected from nature, which negatively impacts our well-being. Spending hours in spaces without natural elements increases stress and reduces our sense of vitality. Scandinavians, even facing harsh winters, maintain a strong connection with nature in their interiors through plants. To apply this principle, you don't need to turn your home into a rainforest. Nordic minimalism favors few plants, but well-positioned and cared for. Start with hardy, low-maintenance species such as zamioculca, ferns, or succulents. A practical example that I always share is from my kitchen. It was a functional but lifeless room until I added 3 small pots of herbs in the window. In addition to being visually beautiful, they bring aroma, texture, and are also useful for preparing meals. Basil, rosemary, and mint not only decorate but are used daily. Another Nordic trick is to value dry branches and natural arrangements in tall vases. A simple composition with eucalyptus branches or dry branches in a minimalist vase brings height, movement, and organicity to the environment without costing much. The benefits of plants go far beyond decoration. They purify the air, increasing the quality of the indoor environment, reduce stress and anxiety, proven by several scientific studies, and bring life and movement to spaces through growth and small seasonal changes. Even for those who don't have much time or gardening skills, there are options such as closed terrariums or quality artificial plants that can bring some of these visual benefits. Tip 7. Layered lighting is a Nordic secret that completely transforms the atmosphere of any room. The problem many face is relying solely on one central light source, usually from the ceiling, which creates harsh shadows and dull, flat lighting. This inadequate lighting not only hinders activities such as reading or manual work, but also prevents the environment from changing its mood depending on the occasion. Scandinavians, who face long periods of darkness during winter, have mastered the art of creating cozy environments through strategic lighting. To apply this principle, you need to think about 3 levels of lighting: general, task, and ambient. General lighting is that which allows you to see the space as a whole, usually coming from the ceiling. The task 1 is aimed at specific activities, like a reading lamp or a light over the kitchen sink. Ambient lighting creates atmosphere and highlights decorative elements. A practical example was the transformation of a friend's dining room. It only had a central chandelier that made the room look like an interrogation room. We added a dimmer to the existing chandelier, installed 2 sconces on the side walls, and placed a small lamp over the sideboard. The same space now serves both formal dinners and intimate gatherings, depending on which lights are on and at what intensity. The secret is in the warm temperature lamps between 2700K and 3000K, which create that warm yellowish light characteristic of Nordic environments. Avoid white or bluish light bulbs, which look hospital-like and cold. The benefits of this approach are enormous. You create different atmospheres in the same space without having to change the decoration. You save energy by using only the lighting necessary for each moment, and you provide adequate visual comfort for different activities. Small indirect lights, such as LED strip lights behind furniture or table lamps, can completely transform the perception of a room with a relatively small investment. Tip 8. The balance between old and new is a Nordic secret that few master, but which makes all the difference in the personality of a home. The common problem is that many people end up with environments that look like they came out of a furniture catalog, without soul or history, or at the opposite extreme, spaces that look like dusty museums. Scandinavians have found the perfect balance, maintaining the freshness of contemporary design while honoring the past through carefully selected vintage pieces. To apply this principle, start by taking inventory of the items you already own that have sentimental or historical value. That old sewing machine from your grandmother that you keep in the basement can be transformed into a unique side table in the living room. A traditional rocking chair can be given new life with modern upholstery. I remember a client who was about to get rid of an old family wooden chest, considering it too old-fashioned. I proposed that we lightly restore it, keeping the signs of use that told its story, and positioned it as a coffee table in the room full of contemporary furniture. The contrast created a stunning focal point and conversation piece that always sparked stories when they had guests over. The secret is to create visual dialogues between the old and the new. An old dresser can have modern handles. A contemporary sofa can be decorated with a handmade throw passed down from generation to generation. The benefits of this mixture go beyond aesthetics. You create a unique space, impossible to replicate, that tells your personal story. It is environmentally responsible by reusing existing parts instead of always buying new ones, and it also saves money as quality vintage pieces are often cheaper than equivalent new furniture. Furthermore, this mix brings temporal depth to the environment, avoiding that feeling of disposable decoration so common in completely new spaces. Tip 9. Art and personal items are what really make a house a home, and the Nordics know this like no one else. The challenge many face is balancing the display of personal items with the minimalist, uncluttered aesthetic we so admire in Scandinavian environments. We end up either hiding everything in drawers and cabinets or creating an environment overloaded with objects without visual cohesion. The Nordic approach to this dilemma is simple and effective. Less is more, but each item must have meaning. To apply this principle, start by curating the objects that really matter to you. That collection of refrigerator magnets from all your trips can be replaced by a single framed photograph of the place that left the greatest impression on you. Instead of displaying every souvenir, choose only those that truly tell a special story or spark positive emotions. A client of mine had so many photographs scattered around the house that none of them received the necessary attention. I helped her select only the most meaningful ones, and we created a gallery wall with simple, uniform frames in neutral tones. The result was an impactful display that became the focal point of the room without appearing cluttered. The secret is in the presentation. Uniform frames for diverse photos create visual cohesion. Slim floating shelves display special objects like small works of art. Decorative boxes hide small collections that can be enjoyed whenever desired, without constantly taking up visual space. The benefits of this approach are multiple. Your space gains personality without becoming visually cluttered. Your special objects receive the prominence and attention they deserve, and you create an environment that tells your personal story in an elegant and intentional way. Remember that the goal is not to hide who you are in the name of aesthetics, but rather to highlight what is really important, giving each special object the space and attention it deserves. Tip 10. Intelligent organization is the secret that underpins the entire Nordic aesthetic and allows minimalism to be truly functional in everyday life. The common problem is that many try to maintain minimalist homes without proper organization systems, which makes daily maintenance stressful and unsustainable. We end up hiding the mess in chaotic closets, or spending hours reorganizing objects without an efficient system. The Scandinavians, with their generally compact spaces, have developed clever methods so that everything has its defined place and is easy to store and find. To apply this principle, start by establishing functional zones in each room. At the entrance to the house, create a spot for keys, bags, and shoes. In the kitchen, organize utensils by frequency of use, keeping diaries more accessible. A remarkable transformation I witnessed was in the home of a family with 3 young children. The room was always filled with toys, causing constant stress. We implemented a simple system. Each child received a personalized decorative box where they should store their toys at the end of the day. The boxes, in neutral colors, integrated into the decor and made organizing a fun habit, not a chore. The secret is to create intuitive systems that are easy to maintain. Use drawer organizers, dividers, discrete labels, and uniformly sized boxes to create visual order. Invest in furniture with integrated storage, such as beds with drawers, ottomans that open, or tables with niches. The benefits of this organization go far beyond aesthetics. You save time looking for things, significantly reduce the daily stress associated with clutter, and make cleaning much faster and more efficient. Furthermore, when each item has its designated place, it becomes much easier to notice when you have excess things, helping to maintain minimalism in the long term. Nordic organization is not based on hiding clutter, but on creating systems that make it easier to maintain order naturally, making everyday life more fluid and enjoyable. Tip 11. Connecting with the outdoors is a fundamental element in Nordic design that is often overlooked by those trying to recreate the style. The problem we face is creating homes that feel like hermetically sealed environments, disconnected from nature and the seasons. This disconnection affects our well-being and natural biological rhythm. Scandinavians, despite the harsh climate, maintain a strong connection with the outside world in their interior designs, blurring the boundaries between inside and outside. To apply this principle, start by rethinking your windows. Avoid heavy curtains that completely block the view. Choose blinds that can be fully retracted during the day or light curtains that filter the light without obstructing the view. Position seating areas near windows, such as a comfortable reading nook next to the home's nicest view. A striking example was the transformation of the home of a couple I consulted. They had a small, rarely used balcony, separated from the room by a door that always remained closed. By replacing the door with a floor-to-ceiling glass version and creating a casual dining space next to it, not only did the natural light in the room increase dramatically, but the balcony was incorporated into the living space and used much more frequently. The secret is to bring elements from the outside in and bring comfort from the inside to the outside. Plants that echo the garden's greenery, colors and textures inspired by the local landscape, and outdoor furniture that is as comfortable as indoor create that fluidity characteristic of Nordic design. The benefits of this connection are profound. You become more in tune with the natural rhythms of the day and seasons, visually expand your spaces without knocking down walls, and create healthier environments with better air circulation and natural light. Even in urban apartments without outdoor areas, you can create this connection with framed views, indoor plants that respond to the seasons, and materials that reference nature. Tip 12. The simplicity and functionality of decorative objects is a Nordic principle that elevates any environment. The common problem is that many people accumulate purely ornamental objects that only collect dust and do not add real value to everyday life, as well as creating a feeling of visual clutter. Scandinavians, with their pragmatic approach, prefer items that combine beauty and utility, following Finnish designer Alvar Aalto's maxim, "Nothing is as beautiful as what is also useful." To apply this concept, start by analyzing your current decorative objects. Could that china set displayed in the china cabinet be used for special meals instead of just being displayed? Could decorative candles be lit regularly to create atmosphere rather than just decorations? An interesting transformation took place at the house of a friend who collected decorative baskets from different cultures. They were stacked high in a closet, gathering dust and almost invisible. We suggested reorganizing them around the space. A large Moroccan basket began to store blankets in the living room. A small African basket became a control holder, and another decorative one stored fruit on the kitchen table. His collection gained purpose and prominence while solving practical household needs. The secret is to choose objects that tell a story or spark joy and find ways to functionally integrate them into your day. An old family vase can become an elegant kitchen utensil holder. A beautiful wooden board can be used both for preparing food and as a centerpiece. The benefits of this approach are multiple. You reduce the feeling of visual clutter, even with objects on display. Your home gains personality without looking like an untouchable museum, and you begin to value and appreciate more the items you choose to keep as you interact with them on a daily basis. This is one of the most sustainable principles of Nordic design, as it encourages conscious consumption and the appreciation of durable and versatile objects over disposable decoration. Tip 13. The ritual of spaces is a Nordic concept that is rarely discussed, but it makes all the difference in the functionality and coziness of a home. The problem many face is creating generic environments that don't adequately support our daily routines and special moments. We end up with spaces that don't serve us well or encourage the behaviors we value. Scandinavians, with their appreciation for everyday well-being, design their environments thinking about the rituals they want to cultivate, whether daily, weekly, or seasonal. To apply this principle, start by identifying the rituals that are important to you and your family. The quiet breakfast on Sundays, reading before bed, meetings with friends, the moment of relaxation after work. A striking example was what I did in the apartment of a client who worked from a home office and had difficulty disconnecting at the end of the day. We created a little transition ritual in a corner of the room with a comfortable armchair, a small side table for a drink, an adjustable lamp, and a decorative box where he kept his laptop and work papers at the end of the day. This simple arrangement, used consciously every day, has completely transformed her relationship with working from home and improved her well-being. The secret is to create small shrines for each important ritual. A comfortable reading corner with adequate light and a place to rest a drink. A dining table that invites leisurely meals positioned with a pleasant view. A functional entrance that makes the ritual of arriving and leaving home pleasant. The benefits of this approach are profound. You encourage behaviors that you value and that contribute to your well-being. You create moments of presence and mindfulness in your everyday life, and you transform routine tasks into pleasurable experiences. Even in compact spaces, it is possible to create these small sanctuaries that support your most important rituals, making everyday life more meaningful and enjoyable. Tip 14. Seasonality in decoration is a Nordic secret that keeps environments always fresh and connected with the natural world. The problem that many face is maintaining the same environment throughout the year, which ends up becoming monotonous or disconnected from the seasons, missing the opportunity to celebrate the natural changes of the year. Scandinavians, who experience very marked seasons, subtly adapt their interiors according to the annual cycle, bringing in elements that reflect the external nature and needs of each period. To apply this principle, think about small changes you can make quarterly with items you already own or accessible natural elements. In winter, add more cozy textures like thicker blankets and cushions in warm fabrics like wool and velvet. In spring, bring fresh flowers or branches with buds. In summer, lighter fabrics and more vibrant colors. In autumn, elements such as pine cones, dry leaves, and seasonal fruits. A client implemented this practice in a simple and transformative way. She started keeping a large decorative tray on the coffee table where she displayed natural elements collected from walks with her children. Shells in the summer, colorful leaves in the fall, branches with little lights in the winter, and wildflowers in the spring. This simple change brought the family's connection to the seasons and created a focal point that renewed itself naturally. The key is creating an organized storage system for seasonal items that aren't in use, such as labeled boxes for seasonal specific textiles or decorations. It's also important to have some neutral, timeless elements that remain year-round, while only a few items are changed. The benefits of this practice are multiple. You renew your environment regularly without large investments. You create a stronger connection with natural cycles. Seasonality in decoration is a Nordic secret that keeps environments always fresh and connected with the natural world. The problem that many face is maintaining the same environment throughout the year, which ends up becoming monotonous or disconnected from the seasons, missing the opportunity to celebrate the natural changes of the year. Scandinavians, who experience very marked seasons, subtly adapt their interiors according to the annual cycle, bringing in elements that reflect the external nature and needs of each period. To apply this principle, think about small changes you can make quarterly with items you already own or accessible natural elements. In winter, add more cozy textures like thicker blankets and cushions in warm fabrics like wool and velvet. In spring, bring fresh flowers or branches with buds. In summer, lighter fabrics and more vibrant colors. In autumn, elements such as pine cones, dry leaves, and seasonal fruits. A client implemented this practice in a simple and transformative way. She started keeping a large decorative tray on the coffee table, where she displayed natural elements collected from walks with her children. Shells in the summer, colorful leaves in the fall, branches with little lights in the winter, and wild flowers in the spring. This simple change brought the family's connection to the seasons and created a focal point that renewed itself naturally. The key is creating an organized storage system for seasonal items that aren't in use, such as labeled boxes for seasonal specific textiles or decorations. It's also important to have some neutral, timeless elements that remain year-round, while only a few items are changed. The benefits of this practice are multiple. You renew your environment regularly without large investments, create a stronger connection with natural cycles, and make your home more responsive to the practical and emotional needs of each season. Tip 15. The Scandinavian table setting is the last but certainly not the least important secret to creating a truly Nordic home. The common problem is that many people neglect family meal times, eating hastily in front of the TV or at odd times. Not only does this habit negatively impact your health, it also wastes a valuable opportunity for connection. Scandinavians, who consistently top quality of life rankings, attach great importance to the ritual of shared meals, creating environments that invite presence and the pleasure of eating together. To apply this principle, start by simplifying your dishes and utensils. Choose quality pieces in natural materials such as ceramics, wood, and glass, in neutral colors that can be easily combined. A well-set table does not need to be elaborate, but rather harmonious and inviting. A simple transformation I witnessed was at the home of a family who always ate in front of the TV. By creating an attractive dining space with a light wooden table, comfortable chairs, pendant lighting at the correct height, and a small natural arrangement in the center, dining together became a time that everyone looked forward to. The television moved into the background. The secret is in the small details. Cloth napkins instead of paper, a lit candle even at everyday dinners, a bunch of fresh herbs in a small vase as a centerpiece, and the absence of electronics during meals. Each element contributes to creating an atmosphere of attention and presence. The benefits go far beyond aesthetics. Meals shared without distractions strengthen family bonds. Studies show that children have better emotional and social development when they regularly participate in family meals, and food itself is better appreciated and digested when we eat carefully and calmly. This daily ritual, so valued in Nordic culture, is perhaps the most transformative element not only for your home, but for the quality of life of your entire family. Well, now you know the 15 Nordic secrets that can completely transform your home into a minimalist but super cozy space. The amazing thing is that all of these principles can be applied regardless of the size of your home or your budget. It's not about spending a lot, but about choosing with intention and purpose. Remember that true Nordic luxury lies in simplicity, connecting with nature and focusing on what really matters to you and your family. Start by applying just one or two of these secrets at a time. Maybe natural light and cozy textures are a good start. As you get used to the changes, gradually add more elements. The most important thing is that your home reflects who you are and supports the lifestyle you want to live. Think about it. What would your daily life be like if, when you arrived home, you found a space that immediately reduced your stress and promoted well-being? That's the true power of Nordic design. My challenge to you is to choose just one of these secrets and implement it this week. It can be as simple as removing excess objects from a coffee table or adding a plant to a dull space. And then tell me in the comments which of these secrets you will apply first and how you are feeling about this change. Remember, a cozy home doesn't happen overnight, but rather with small intentional changes that together create a space that nourishes your soul and enhances your daily life.